the times where I was the king of MySpace. Now, when I was a freshman in high school, what was going on was this: is even though I became one of the most best dancers at my school, I still had the reputation of being an SE, and that prevented me from getting girlfriends, but it didn't prevent me from getting play on the streets. Meaning that they would keep it on the low, but they wouldn't give me validation in school. So what happened was this: is those people specifically moved to a different location, and the reason why is because pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I have to go into detail about that. Okay, so MySpace comes along, and I end up adding girl after girl after girl that go to different schools in my district. And what happens is this: is everybody's praising me for being this new fucking pimp, this girl out of nowhere. What's going on with you and all these bitches? Literally pulling girls to girls to girls, proving so many people with multiple interests. And the thing is, I don't have a single girlfriend in school. Yeah, I have a ton of girlfriends on MySpace. So what my plan was is to get girls in my local area that don't know about my past, that don't know about how kids count on me in school, so I can have a new reputation with them, and it worked like a charm. I had a whole bunch of confirmed fucks, I had a whole bunch of this and that, but it always got in the way because of the fact that something came up in between. And that's what happens when you're dealing with competition. That's what happens when you don't have stuff established. When you hit someone with charisma out of nowhere, when they already have a responsibility of doing this, they can't just stop everything just to be there for you like fucking Prince Charming. So the great thing about this is even though that I didn't have a girlfriend in school, I had so much social validation. It wasn't even funny. Girls after girls after girls were giving me validation, and it didn't really make me feel like a pimp. But what happened was this: is I kept on adding random girls, and it got to the point where I go to the mall and two guys down on my football team invite me, and like, dude, you have so many bitches on MySpace, we have to go hang out. So they invite me to the mall, and they're getting up this one girl that already has a boyfriend. And so I asked the most important question: what are you listening to? And they're constantly trying to get in their pants, and they literally admit that they're being desperate, but it doesn't matter. They're talking about her ass in front of her, and she is just not amused. And literally, so I'm dominating both of them in this date. But the thing about this was, they both had girlfriends on paper, and me, I was very, 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 very distant. And I had so many good relationships on MySpace, it wasn't even funny. I had internet relationships of girls that I've never seen in person, and literally guys were adding girls on my profile just to say what's up. And literally, so at the end of the day, when they failed to get this one girl, these two guys got on my football team. One of them was on my football team, the other one was in a rock band, and they were talking about, you have over 300 friends on MySpace, you can at least bring 10 girls. And I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, okay, these guys aren't that much of the food chain. I can see why they're desperate, but at the end of the day, they still have lighter skin, and they can still get a girlfriend on paper, which is way more comfortable, way easier, and a bulletproof piece of information that is better than you trying to flex with all these internet girls that don't support you in person. Yeah, I got nudes on top of nudes on top of nudes, but I didn't have a girlfriend anywhere. It got to a point where I was fooling myself, but the devil was getting in my head. He's like, you gotta take it slow. Once you have something established, it's not gonna get in the way when people try to bring you down, because it's on paper. That's the way they can be defended and this and that, literally. And that is completely fucking true. But you know what? I learned how to get past that in the future. But back then, it was very detrimental to a point where it's like, you have to get to know someone was prominent. Even though these girls agreed to fuck me on MySpace, can I see him in person? That is literally the definition of fireworks. Got your hopes up and danced down, but on the outside, I have a whole library of women, right? But at school, I can't pull one single girl. So so many people, when I told them that I was a virgin, didn't believe me because of how many bitches I pulled on MySpace. And it got to a point where there was this one girl who I was texting who was actually my girlfriend at the time. So here's what happens is I get a little posse when I'm in freshman year. It's kind of funny is I become very, very popular. Even Justin gets jealous of me because of how many bitches I have. Justin, Andre, all those niggas from junior high literally crumbled after I got to high school, because now you can't pull that bias shit. Now everyone is Jaylene. Now everybody is sticking up for a special ed kid. That's how it was in the beginning. What ruined my reputation freshman year in high school was every time someone tried to defend me, they had to get kicked out of school because they beat the crap out of the person who was talking shit to me. And literally, so as an adult, I thank those people for moving out of school and let me face those problems head on, because every time they try to get in the way is the same reason why they say those people are vile. They have the right to call him special ed. They have the right to do this and that. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He's uncivilized. You guys are constantly talking shit to him and you expect him to do nothing about it. And the people who did do something about it got kicked out of school. It's like, you know what? It's better to stand up for yourself than to constantly take shit and be everyone's bitch. Yeah, that happened. That happened time and time again. The future, when I realized, hey, why isn't that one guy who I won in the shadow box there? Why isn't that one girl who gave me validation there? It got to the point where this girl who was treating me like an alien in high school agreed to dance with me the very first dance of school. And this guy out of nowhere is like, hey, what you doing with my girl, man? What you doing? And that only happened. He only did one time. And you know what? This continues this thing. And I talked to this one guy in PE, and I'm all like, is Jennifer scaring me? And he's like, of course he scare you. We're talking like popular girls and shit. Like, Jennifer was that same girl who agreed to dance with me when she already had a boyfriend, and that guy checked me, and the devil's excuse is, you already have something established. No, he was slipping. So what happened was, I got the truth one time. And the last time I saw Jennifer, it was the same fucking thing. It was literally, it was due to racism. It was due to the fact that I was black. She agreed to do this shit, and it still didn't work. So what stopped me from beating myself up for why I couldn't get a girlfriend was me coming to the realization that it's a whole bunch of cock blocking. And literally what the devil was trying to say is, how can so many people who agree on the same opinion be cock blocking? So back to the MySpace shit, what happened was, the fact that I built this little posse freshman year was when this one guy got into my phone and he was begging for Olivia's number. Her name was Olivia, and she was the closest out of all my MySpace girls to become my girlfriend. And she was so fucking pretty. And so literally, so what happened is this. So I give this guy Olivia's number, and I trust him because I knew he's gonna get her, but I knew he was gonna fail because I already got her. So I gave him her number, and what happens is this. So I hear a rumor that they actually got to hang out with her in person. So Olivia calls me one time. I'm all like, you're hella cool. She's like, how do you like me? You don't even know me. But that was after we had our romantic acceptance. So Street Code let me know that it's not the fact that she doesn't like me. It's the fact that she's dealing with the same people. Like, you know how you get stuck with a job with the same people because of details I don't want to go into? That is how Olivia felt when she was forced to basically reject me. The guy who was more desperate, the guy who kept on trying, was the one who got to hang out with Olivia. But you, me as a person, got to get Olivia without being desperate. And that's what the devil is like, literally, we came into a world that accepted people for keeping on trying. It's like, keep on trying, believe it, you can do it. Except for the fact that you were desperate the whole time. You basically begged, sucked dick, literally went down in the dirt, did everything for that acceptance. That's basically like me sucking Justin's dick and everybody accepting me. Was the equivalent to when he got to hang out with Olivia. That guy had girlfriend on paper. That guy had this and that. And that is why you don't want to stoop down to those levels. You don't want to stoop down to hacking to literally say that this guy is a bad person when you're just a nerd and you need to step your game up. And literally, so what made me more content as a person was me letting myself know when everybody tried to tell me that I am mature and I don't try hard enough. I'm like, no. What you're basically, your definition of you giving up is me not being willing to suck dick in order to make friends, basically. So that's what I learned. Those people were desperate. That guy on the football team begging for that girl begging me, the special ed kid. for 10 girls on MySpace because I was resourceful. I didn't have no option. I kept on trying, and I had to accept the fact that, yo, this isn't gonna work. So once I stayed back and once I stopped doing those habits, I watched everybody play themselves. I watched everybody rely on the desperate shit that didn't work anymore. It only worked because we live in a society that Naruto Uzumaki believe it works only if you dick ride someone, only if you do everything for someone, only if you beg to a point where they feel sorry for you. Yeah, you got it on paper, but they don't know how you got it on paper. So all good, fair and well. Yeah, I ruined my reputation by them catching me on the psych ward bus my freshman year, but it was after me realizing, it was after me doing all this dumb shit. It was after me getting approval after approval just to get shot down, and I'm all like, you know what? It's not me, it's them. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have all those random people who just met me, literally dick riding me, and when I know the full story, that these people literally made a full story out of being gay and got what they wanted, but they still feel like shit inside. And that is why I don't give a fuck about Frozen. This is why I don't give a fuck about anything like that, because I've earned it. I earned it with Jaylene. I've earned it with Allie. I earned it with all of them. And literally, you guys use your numbers against me. And literally, because I was the honey badger, because I was doing the mature thing the whole time, is looking for a different outlet, keeping on trying, kept on trying, but I didn't resort to doing dumb shit like breaking my leg in football practice, is the reason why I made it out alive. And that I didn't feel like I was dead inside.